Okay, so switch traditional, go digital. Let's go ahead and go to this first slide real quick. The vision. Wow, that's small. Okay, so my vision was a pure one-to-one classroom. I wanted to increase my student engagement, get my students like excited to come into math. Let's face it, high school math, not the most exciting thing in the world, even though we try. I wanted my students to take ownership of their learning, which, come on, high schoolers, Tony, do we like to take ownership?
No.
We don't. They just don't. And I needed something to help me streamline my classroom management. Because let's face it, yes, I am a teacher, but I'm also 1,000 other things. And I needed something to make it more simple for me to complete my more everyday tasks. So, the vision, one-to-one, student engagement, ownership, and management. Okay, but then, we get going, we're excited, we start out, and then we're crying at the end of every day. Because nothing is going to plan at all. First, I wanted that one-to-one classroom learning environment. Well, if your students aren't taking your devices home every day with them, and it's not their true device that they just cart around with them, you're not a one-to-one environment. My devices stayed in my classroom, so we were having really bad login issues because the computers were getting confused. That's the only way I can say it. They're getting confused between one student logging on 1 hour and then the next hour another one and the next hour another one with the way we were trying to do things. So we had to adapt. We did that blended learning environment, which really helped because now I had to change that mindset. I had to go on, okay, we are not one-to-one. I will not be able to do this the way I want. But how can I fix it and how can I make it better from what it is right now? Because that's always the hard part. I really reflect. It took a few weeks, and there's a lot of crying involved. But I survived. Next, increase student engagement. My students, I thought, in my opinion as a teacher, they had increased student engagement. But then, there's this little thing called the student voice survey that we do, and I get my results, and I'm like, what is this? I thought my student engagement was so much better this year than any other year. Then I go talking to my students, and their biggest concern is, you took my device that I love to play and relax with, and you made it educational. You're making me do math on my computer. What are you doing? I'm not engaged. I'm like, oh, okay, if that's what they're thinking engagement is, I'm safe. Because the way I look at it, are my students actively trying to better themselves? Are they actively trying to attempt their assignments and get feedback? Are they always trying to better themselves and keep going towards that goal of learning that lesson? And they were. Now, that is my definition of engagement. It just didn't jive with that student definition, but I was happy with that. Student ownership. This one came as a surprise to me. One, I had students actually wanting to get feedback, doing their homework, messaging me. And that really helped with all these devices. They were more at ease with using the internet at home, contacting me digitally, because that's what we did every day in the classroom. But when I had to miss a lot of school because I had a surgery, I was really worried because every other time, I'd miss a day or two because I had to go here, I have to go there, and I would just use my devices to continue on my teaching, but I was back in a couple of days. I could hit on something that they may have not gotten purely the way I wanted it to when I wasn't there. However, when I missed 2 weeks of school, I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're going to not understand this, they're going to miss it, I'm not there to help them. What am I going to do? Surprisingly, my students performed way better on that unit assessment than any other assessment. My principal, God love him, said, well, Stephanie, that's because they cheated. I was like, whoa. No, they did not. Because we have 2 Algebra 1 teachers, and we scheduled this to where the other Algebra 1 teacher, she's like my best buddy, collaborate every single day because we do that whole common assessment, common homework, common grading practices. She proctored my exams for me. She was the one watching over my students like I was in my classroom. And they performed so much better, I was shocked. And I realized I was babying them too much. I was nurturing them too much. I was freaking out. By having to miss those 2 weeks, I had to let go, and they were able to take that ownership, depend on themselves, and having the devices and the technology, the OneNote and the Schoology, let them do that. And I was just thrilled. even though I haven't missed school. Now, simple classroom management. I was so excited, and I love the word thrilled. When I was writing this grant, I'm like searching for all the different classroom management systems I can buy, and I found one for $200 a year. I was like, you know what? Even if I don't get this grant, I'll fork out $200 for this because this is something I want. And I get the grant. I go to purchase it. The site's down. I'm like, okay, I'll get to it the next day. Well, you know what happens the next day? You're busy. So a couple weeks later, I try again. Site's down. I'm like, this is just weird. What is going on? I try again. They had stopped selling that version, and they went to a pro version for $987. And I was like, well, okay, that's not going to work. So what do? I email them like, hey, can we set up a payment plan type thing? I'm this teacher. I don't have that much money. Sorry, dude. I don't have that much money. Can we work something out? And they're like, well, sorry, but it's going on sale soon. You can buy it for $750 instead. And I'm like, that's a paycheck. I can't give you one paycheck. So I had to steer away from that route because everything was way too expensive. And instead, I had to do the good old-fashioned vigilance. I'm walking around, I'm peeking over my students' shoulders. You know, that's what we have to do. And I did. And now for Tony.
My name is Tony Endicott, and I'm a senior at Belfry High School. I'm enrolled in the online dual credit college algebra class. And me being a senior, I don't have a lot of time left at high school. This is my first year that I've actually had a computer-based class. And it was very difficult at first to get used to. Like, it's a completely different experience. You go from pencil and paper to all computer-based stuff. The only thing that I really like about the computer-based stuff is it did get easier. The accessibility is I have more chances to do my homework, and I'm always one of those kids that's like, if I don't get this right, I want to know why I didn't get it right and what I can do to fix it. So after messaging and irritating the snot out of my lovely teacher, she eventually would get back to me and let me know what I did, how to fix it, and the program that we use, Schoology, it corrects my answers, and I'll have three tries. So after one or two, I'll be like, well, maybe I can try it again and see if I can get. So that's when really Miss Younger, me Facebooking back and forth trying to get the answer is when that came into play. It just made it easier for me because I can actually understand what I'm doing, and I can look back and see what I did and how I got the answer.
Thank you, Tony. You're welcome. Okay, so now, what does the future hold for me and my classroom and everything that is going on from this point? Consistency and refinement. Let's face it, this was a hard year. I spent so much time just trying to figure out what assignments I wanted, how I was going to change them, because I went from something that was 100% paper all the time to mostly digital. And I had to figure out how to do that. So this next year, and pretty much from this point forward, I'm going through, and my friend and I, Miss Bowen, the other Algebra 1 teacher, we're going through our assignments, and we're like, okay, is this what we want for this assignment? How can we adapt this and change it for Schoology? How does this benefit our kids? Can we tweak this? Can it be implemented in a different way? Can we add more projects now? We got our instruction down, but can we add any projects online? I want to get to the student engagement, their version of student engagement. I already hit mine, but I want my students to think they're engaged. To me, if my students are happy, that means I'm not getting as many gray hairs. Kinda. Let's face it, we all get old. And now I also want to supplement. I want to do more hands-on. This year I didn't have as much time because I was focused so much on just trying to implement the technology and get the assignments up that I lost out on some of the favorite projects I had in the past. But now that I won't have to spend as much time, I can go forth and do that. Any questions in the 5 seconds? Alrighty.